My best friend was kissing my father in our kitchen when I walked in. And in that moment, my life shattered like glass thrown onto concrete. I never thought my story would become this, a tale of betrayal where love was supposed to be. My name is Leah Thompson. I'm 22, and I live in a quiet suburb of Portland, Oregon, where the rain never stops, and secrets, it seems, can't stay hidden. My best friend, Caitlin Morris, has been my rock since we were kids trading Pokemon cards in 3rd grade. She's the kind of person who lights up a room with her vibrant auburn hair and a laugh that makes strangers smile. It started 6 months ago, though I didn't know it then. I was working part-time at a coffee shop, pulling espresso shots and dodging undergrads with their laptops. Caitlin would swing by after her shifts at the boutique downtown, and we'd sit in the corner booth, splitting a cinnamon roll and spilling our lives. She'd been acting off, checking her phone more, her smiles a little too tight. But I chalked it up to her breakup with Nathan, her boyfriend of 2 years. He was a loser anyway, I'd told her, and she'd nodded, but her eyes were somewhere else. Dad, meanwhile, was his usual self, James Thompson, 51, high school history teacher, and the guy who still wore flannel like it was 1995. Mom left when I was 10, so it's been me and Dad against the world, our little team, surviving on takeout and bad action movies. He'd been quieter lately, spending more time grading papers in his study, but I figured it was just the grind of the school year. Nothing seemed wrong, not yet. The first crack appeared in September. I came home from a late shift, my sneakers soaked from the rain, and found Caitlin's car in our driveway. It was past 10, odd for a weeknight. I walked in, expecting to find her raiding our fridge like usual, but the living room was empty. The house was quiet, except for a faint laugh from upstairs, Dad's study. I crept up, curious, and there they were. Caitlin perched on the edge of his desk, Dad leaning back in his chair, a bottle of whiskey between them. They weren't doing anything wrong, not exactly, but the air felt thick, like I'd walked in on a conversation meant for two. "Hey, Leah," Caitlin said, jumping up, her cheeks flushed. "Just keeping your dad company." Dad laughed, too loud. "Yeah, Caitlin was telling me about her new job, real cutthroat retail." I nodded, but my stomach twisted. Caitlin's eyes darted to the floor, and Dad wouldn't quite meet my gaze. I brushed it off. Caitlin was practically family, and Dad was just being his friendly, dorky self. But the moment stuck, like a splinter I couldn't dig out. Over the next few weeks, it kept happening. Caitlin was at our house more than ever, dropping by with coffee, staying for dinner, laughing at Dad's terrible puns. I'd catch them exchanging glances, quick and subtle, like they were sharing a secret I wasn't in on. One night, I found a scarf on the couch, bright red, Caitlin's favorite. She'd left hours ago, so why was it here? I asked Dad about it, and he mumbled something about her forgetting it, but his ears turned pink, the way they did when he was hiding something. By October, I couldn't ignore it anymore. I started noticing things I'd missed. Caitlin's perfume lingering in the hallway, Dad's phone buzzing late at night, the way he'd smile when her name came up. I wanted to confront them, but what would I say? "Hey, are you two sneaking around?" It sounded ridiculous. They were my best friend and my dad, people I trusted with my life, so I did what any rational person would do. I spied. I started checking Dad's phone when he was in the shower. Nothing obvious, just texts from Caitlin about grabbing coffee or thanks for the advice. Innocent, but too frequent. I'd scroll through Caitlin's Instagram, looking for clues in her stories. Blurry photos of coffee cups, a street that looked like ours. One night, I even followed her after she left our house, my heart pounding as I trailed her car. She drove to a diner, met some guy I didn't know, and I felt like an idiot, sitting in my car, shaking with adrenaline and guilt. But the truth has a way of slipping out. It was November, the week before Thanksgiving, when it all came crashing down. I'd been at the coffee shop, closing up, when Caitlin texted me, "Can we talk? Urgent." My gut told me this was it. I met her at the park near our house, the one where we used to swing for hours as kids. It was freezing, the swings creaking in the wind, and Caitlin looked like she hadn't slept in days. "Leah, I need to tell you something," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. I've been seeing someone you know." My heart sank. "Who?" She looked away, tears welling up. "James, your dad." The world tilted. I wanted to laugh, to scream, to tell her she was joking. But her face, pale, guilty, said it all. "How long?" I asked, my voice flat. "Since August," she said. "It just happened. I was upset about Nathan, and James was there, and one thing led to another." "Stop." I held up a hand, my chest tight. "You're sleeping with my dad." "My dad, Caitlin." "It's not like that," she said, reaching for me. I stepped back. "We care about each other, Leah. It's real." "Real?" I laughed, bitter and sharp. "You're 22, he's 51. You're my best friend, and he's my father. What part of this is real?" She cried then, big, messy sobs, but I didn't care. I walked away, my breath fogging in the cold, my mind racing. How could they do this? How could Dad, who'd raised me, who'd promised we'd always have each other, betray me like this? And Caitlin, my sister in all but blood, how could she look me in the eye and lie for months? When I got home, Dad was in the kitchen, stirring soup like nothing was wrong. I didn't think, just let it out. "You're sleeping with Caitlin." He froze, the spoon clattering to the counter. "Leah, I don't," I snapped. "She told me." "How could you? She's my age, Dad, my best friend." He looked old then, his shoulders sagging, his eyes tired. "I didn't mean for it to happen," he said. "It just did. I'm sorry, Leah. I never wanted to hurt you." "Sorry," I laughed, tears burning my eyes. "You're sorry. You've been lying to me, sneaking around. And you think sorry fixes it." We fought for hours, words flying like knives. He said he loved her, that it wasn't just a fling. He said he'd been lonely, that I didn't understand how hard it was to be alone all these years. I told him he was pathetic, chasing a girl half his age, ruining our family for a fantasy. By the end, I was crying, he was crying, and the house felt like a war zone. The next few weeks were hell. I moved out, crashing on a coworker's couch, ignoring Dad's calls and Caitlin's texts. I'd see them in my head, together, laughing like I didn't exist. Work became my escape, the hum of the espresso machine drowning out my thoughts. But every night, alone in the dark, I'd replay it all, wondering how I'd missed the signs, how I'd trusted them so blindly. Christmas came, and with it, a letter from Dad. Not a text, not a call, a real letter, handwritten, like he used to write when I was a kid. He said he'd ended things with Caitlin, that he'd realized how much he'd hurt me. He said he didn't expect forgiveness, but he wanted me to know he was trying to make it right. He said he loved me, always would, no matter what. I didn't reply, but I kept the letter, reading it, until the creases wore thin. Caitlin reached out too, leaving voicemails I deleted without listening. Part of me wanted to hate them forever, to cut them out like a bruise. But another part, the part that remembered Dad teaching me to ride a bike, Caitlin braiding my hair before prom, couldn't let go. It was January when I finally saw Caitlin again. I was at the coffee shop, wiping down tables, when she walked in. She looked different, thinner, her eyes dull. She didn't order, just stood there, waiting for me to say something. "Why?" I asked, my voice low. "Why him?" She swallowed, her hands twisting together. "I was lost, Leah. After Nathan, I felt like nothing. Your dad, he listened. He made me feel seen. I know it was wrong, but I didn't know how to stop. I wanted to yell, to tell her she'd ruined everything. But I was tired. Tired of being angry. Tired of hurting. I don't know if I can forgive you," I said, "but I miss you." She nodded, tears falling. "I miss you too." We didn't hug, didn't make promises, but it was a start, a crack in the wall I'd built. Dad was harder. I went home a week later, and we sat in the living room, the silence heavy. He didn't try to justify it, didn't make excuses. He just said, "I'm here, Leah, whenever you're ready. It's April now, and things aren't fixed. I'm back home, but the house feels different, like a place I'm relearning." Dad and I talk, but it's careful, like we're stepping around broken glass. Caitlin and I grab coffee sometimes, but it's not the same. I don't know if it ever will be. What I do know is this: love is messy, and so is forgiveness. I'm trying to find my way through both, one shaky step at a time. Maybe that's enough for now.
If Leah's story of betrayal, heartbreak, and trying to piece herself back together had you holding your breath, or even shaking your head in disbelief, give this video a big thumbs up. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next gripping tale of love, betrayal, or epic comebacks. Now, I want to hear from you in the comments. Have you ever faced a tough family situation like Leah did? Or maybe you've got a story about standing up for yourself when the odds were stacked against you. Drop it below. Let's get the conversation started. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.